Who's ready for a brand new original AAA sci-fi game? Well, it's been a long time coming, but finally Pragmata is set to release on the 17th of April 2026. And with the recent NASA Artemis 2 mission, I am itching to get my space fix from the comfort of my PC. Join me as I discuss the gameplay features, recommended specs, and the best PCs to play Pragmata. Play as dual protagonists with astronaut Hugh fighting alongside his android companion Diana in this sci-fi action-adventure game. Hugh is set to investigate a lunar research station that lost contact, and when a lunar quake strikes, he finds himself stranded, being saved by a childlike android girl, Diana. This unlikely duo must work together to defeat the various AI enemies, which are a hostile AI known as Edis. Also, I did notice a quirky little robot character named Cabin, who instantly put a smile on my face. It kind of reminds me of Claptrap from the Borderlands games. I do wonder how involved this support character will be. Capcom promise a unique hacking twist with a focus on looting collectibles and completing puzzles reminiscent of Resident Evil. The fighting style looks unique from any other game that I've seen before. There are grid-based hacking puzzles during the third-person gunplay, making you think on your feet and work with the environment around you. Hugh is firearms focused and is responsible for dodging and shooting enemies. Meanwhile, Diana remains on his back, hacking armored robots and overriding door locks to assist you as you go. Seeing as you control both characters at the same time, fast reactions and thoughtful strategy will be essential for survival. Capcom even claimed their tactile combat system fully engages both sides of your brain, so the action and movement-based gameplay activates the right side of your brain, whereas the hacking and strategic gameplay activates the analytical left side of your brain. Which I guess makes sense, as this would stimulate different cognitive functions at the same time. As always, Capcom will be using the RE engine for this game, which is exciting as we haven't seen many AAA titles use this engine before, and a refreshing change from Unreal Engine dominating the game market. A lot of recent AAA titles feel half-finished with poor graphics and performance issues, but I have high expectations with Pragmata, as RE Engine is famous for impressive optimization and high-fidelity visuals. It repeatedly proves it's capable of providing stable frame rates, photorealistic graphics, and advanced lighting across the range of games it produces. There's been a free demo available to try, so luckily we can get a good idea of how well the game will run on different hardware. Someone claimed their PC with a GTX 1660 Ti and Ryzen 5 1600 was easily able to reach 60 FPS at 1080p. The same GPU and CPU at 1440p never dipped below 60 FPS, but did need FSR and frame generation enabled. Gamers using an RTX 3070 are in for a real treat, regularly achieving over 60 FPS natively. And then with an RTX 4070 Ti, you'll be enjoying all the wonders of 4K at above 100 FPS. Lots of modern AAA games seem to rely too heavily on DLSS and FSR features to provide a quality experience, whereas Pragmata already looks far more impressive but less intensive on your system, showing that it should be very well optimized. The developers even said our policy was to put comfort first, even if it meant sacrificing certain graphical aspects. Nevertheless, Capcom haven't completely skipped on the visuals, and I was very impressed when watching the various trailers and gameplay clips. The shelter, which will act as a safe place and a hub for upgrading equipment and abilities, has a clean, high-tech look, which is stunning. Very reminiscent of the movie 2001: Space Odyssey, along with screens displaying virtual trees and cloudy landscapes, making a beautiful contrast to the clinical white backdrop. Once we leave the shelter, the world blew me away. The graphics are juicy and full of vibrancy. I found it really interesting that some of the backdrops look AI generated, but there were actually artists passionate about their anti-AI message who spent hours recreating that jarring, not quite right feeling that AI gives when it generates art. Pragmata will also launch with ray-traced effects and DLSS 4 support to create realistic lighting, reflections, and boost performance at higher resolutions. Pragmata on PC is even being upgraded with path tracing to further increase realism and immersion. If your PC can handle it, that is. Overall, the PC requirements for Pragmata look very approachable, and the game seems very well optimized. Starting with the minimum specs, you'll need an Intel Core i5-8500 or an AMD Ryzen 5 3500. Both are 6-core CPUs that come out over 6 years ago. A similar modern CPU would be something like the Intel Core Ultra 5225. Pair this with 16GB of memory, as is often required with modern games these days. You'll need to pair these with at least a GeForce GTX 1660 with 6GB of VRAM, or a Radeon RX 5500 XT with 8GB of VRAM. Capcom have estimated this will play the game at 1080p at around 45 FPS using the performance preset. For a better experience, aim for the recommended specs with an Intel Core i7-8700 or an AMD Ryzen 5 5500 paired with at least 16GB of memory. Both 6-core, 12-thread processors. A modern equivalent would be something like the AMD Ryzen 5 9600. If you're not interested in ray tracing, graphics-wise, you need a GeForce RTX 2060 Super or a Radeon RX 6600, both with 8GB of VRAM. A more recently released GPU that also meets these requirements would be something like the GeForce RTX 5050 or a Radeon RX 9060 XT. Finally, for the best experience with ray tracing enabled, you'll need a more powerful GPU like the AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT, 12GB, or Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 12GB. It seems more VRAM might be required for RTX on, and a 5060 Ti with 16GB would make a great modern upgrade. A system like this should be able to play the game on balanced settings at 1080p resolution, with around 60 FPS. Finally, to install Pragmata, you'll need just 40GB of storage space, which is quite refreshing from the huge download sizes we've come to expect from AAA games. An SSD is also recommended to cut down on loading times. Capcom is setting a new standard for releasing AAA games that only require entry-level cards. It shows how well optimized they are making their games now. Dun dun dun, PCs to play. Based on the recommended requirements, I've picked out some of the best PCs to play Pragmata, which are all available on the Overclockers website. My budget pick is the OCUK Gaming Mac 1.1. It meets the recommended requirements with a Ryzen 5600, 16GB of memory, and the RTX 5060, which packs 8GB of VRAM. You should have a great experience at 1080p with around 60 FPS. And best of all, this system is very aggressively priced at just under £900. Stepping things up above the recommended requirements, and if you want to be able to enable ray tracing and high settings at 1440p or 4K, you'll need a pretty powerful GPU. The OCUK Gaming Inspire comes with an RTX 5070 Ti and Ryzen 7 7800 X3D, which should handle pretty much everything you throw at it, especially with DLSS 4 enabled. Available for £2,400. Pragmata does support path-based ray tracing, and if you want to enjoy the game maxed out at 4K, the OCUK Gaming Hydrogen is a great pick, with Ryzen 9800 X3D and an RTX 5080. This compact gaming PC also comes with 32GB of memory, and you can choose from a range of storage options and even pick the colour of the case. Available to spec on the website for just under £3,000. If you're planning on upgrading to play Pragmata, you're in luck. We have the perfect promotion running at the moment. You can get a copy of Pragmata included when you buy selected Nvidia graphics cards, PCs, and laptops until the middle of May. And MSI have a similar offer on OLED monitors until the end of May. Check the link in description for more info. It's safe to say I am beyond excited to play Pragmata. The charming bond between our protagonists, the strong ethical choices against AI, and the unique combat gameplay have completely won me over. The hardware requirements also make it accessible for the majority of gamers, if you're willing to turn down a few of the graphic settings. Or, if you have the hardware, you can enjoy the breathtaking visuals with path tracing enabled. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not check out one of these videos next?